crazy to think in the midst of it all, you already knew my name.
I, like many of you, have become a creature of habit, doing the same things over and over again, enforcing my limits with life, enforcing my boundaries with life. But I came to a point where I realized that it was keeping me stagnant and something had to change. Hey y'all, what's up? My name is Tony Alyssa. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll be talking about how coming out of my comfort zone finally saved my life. So let's talk about where it even started. In college, I went to college where I knew no one, of course, because when I went to college, the only schooling I had was all out of the US. So anywhere that I went to college in the States, I wouldn't know anyone. So when I went to college, yes, we had like our introduction, our orientation and everything, but everyone there was already with their friends, with their clique, with their group, with someone who they knew from their hometown. Me, on the other hand, I brought my sister, but she couldn't go every single where with me. So for instance, where they would have the parents for orientation come in, my sister could go there, but where they had, it was like it was kind of like in a courtroom, like a little, I don't know, just a little event that they had. She couldn't go because it was just like students only, and that was supposed to be like our meeting area thing. Y'all, I think I just walked in and walked out. It's such a blur, but I think I honestly just walked in and walked out. I know that I didn't make any friends, but I went through college without making any friends. Like 3 years of college, no friends, no parties, no events. So I remember one time I asked my best friend at the time to come to like a football game with me. We ended up leaving. Like it wasn't our vibe. And even for my first year, like my first full semester of college, one of my roommates, she had messaged me, you know, they can message you beforehand, if I wanted to go to this football game. You know, I went, wasn't my vibe again. And it didn't make it any better that they were already friends from high school. So they all knew each other. They were all already best friends. So like they were a clique, and then I just was like the fourth person then, which was fine. I'm kind of like to stay to myself, reserved. But then after the third year, y'all, I'm like, Tony, this is getting you nowhere. You need to step out of your comfort zone. One day I was laying in my bed in my dorm room at college, and I was just thinking over my life from high school, from before that, how I always played it safe and where it had me at that point in time. Then I would look at like other people's lives, because you know I watch a lot of YouTube, and even other people's lives around me, of how they weren't living safe and really living in fear. And I was like, Tony, it's time for a change. So I just applied for a group. That was one thing our college really pushed, was we have like over 100, probably. If it wasn't over 100, it was over 300. They were always pushing groups. So I went through their list of groups. You know, they had like a Caribbean group. That's something I could have resonated with, you know, African-American groups. But I ended up deciding on the NRF group. So the NRF is National Retail Federation, and then it's NRF SA, which is the Student Association. So I ended up applying to that group. Why? Because I knew I would meet people. If they had like a meeting every Wednesday or something, I know I could meet people there, and it was aligned with my degree. So we're killing two birds with one stone. So I ended up going. Turns out, my first semester, but the summer semester that I went before I really started college, my first semester roommate, she was the lead of that group. So I'm like, it was an easier transition than I thought it would be. So that was out of my comfort zone. I entered the group. I went to one of their meetings. She spoke about a competition that they were having. I'm like, we're already out of our comfort zone. Let's join the competition. So I think we had to apply to the competition or something if we wanted to go up in a competition. So I applied, I got accepted. It was 4 of us in the group. So the competition was basically, it was a theme that we were given, and we had to come up with a product line to pitch to retail stores. Even though we didn't win, to me, it was a nice experience. It was 3 people that I didn't know, us coming together, collaborating, working on a product, talking amongst ourselves about different things, you know? And so it was something new for me, and it was also like a breath of fresh air, because my life before that was like, I knew what to expect. So basically, I would go to school Monday through Friday. On the weekends, like Friday evening, Friday afternoon, I would drive all the way back to Augusta, go to work until Saturday evening, and then I would drive back to school. And I did that for 3 years. Okay, so this was like something new for me. It was a breath of fresh air. We had to go ahead and present that. We had to prep. It was, honestly, to me, it was good. And then I realized stepping out of my comfort zone really isn't that bad. What else can I do? Now, after I did that, it just helped me with trying new things. Like, trying new things isn't that bad. So after that, I just began living life as opposed to just existing in my comfort zone. One thing I realized that kept me in my comfort zone for a while was fear. And because of fear, I spoke a lot of I would nevers, I would nevers, I would nevers. One of the I would nevers was starting a business. I was like, I'd never start a business. Really, it was rooted in fear. But the thing that I would say is like, that's just too much work. I'd rather just work a 9 to 5, have my set salary and go home. And me today, that is not my goal. It's some people's goals and everyone has their own different goals, but that's not my goal. Like, yeah, that's just not my goal. So after I did the NRF Student Association competition, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should start my own business. So I did start my own business, The Hire Company. And even though that company isn't up and running today, I learned a lot of things from it. Marketing, target audience, just doing something that I love to do. Selling it to other people, getting people's reviews, and people telling you like they love your product, what could be done better with the product. It was character building journey, and I actually loved it so much so to the point that I want to start another business. I did other things like moving to another state by faith, which is something that I documented here on this channel, and so many other things. Like stepping out of my comfort zone has finally allowed me to live and not just exist. And that honestly makes me so happy. But another thing that I realized after I stepped out of my comfort zone and stopped playing it safe or living a safe life, living in my comfort zone, was looking back on people in my family who didn't get out of their comfort zone. Like for instance, I remember this one time, this lady asked my grandmother, like, would you go on this cruise with me? It was all my grandmother didn't have to do nothing but bring herself and her clothes. And my grandmother was like, no, I'm scared of boats. So she didn't go. Somebody else would be like, I think I remember like somebody else was asking her like, hey, come with me to Canada, XYZ, you know, you could get, because my grandmother, she really just took care of us. She was kind of like our after school program. So she would take care of us, cook, because she lived with my other cousin. She would cook and all those other things. So they were like, you know, so you could get a break, get away from the kids, XYZ. Come with me to Canada. She was like, no, I'm scared of planes, or no, whatever her reasoning was. And it just made me realize how much, not just her, but other people, and how much life they died. And they had so much life to live, so much potential. And it honestly makes me sad. But we cannot go back and change the past. So my recommendation to you, my challenge to you, is to get out of your comfort zone, live your life, not just exist, and just pray that it influences the people around you, your family, your friends to do the same, so that whenever you die, whenever they die, whenever we all die, we're not dying with potential that we didn't use and life that we didn't live. Thank y'all so much for watching this video, and I'll see y'all in my next one. Bye.